Hello, hello. Welcome to Dan Rock's Rock Box. Lovely to see people are already dropping in with their connections. Perfect. Leslie, you connected today. Let me have it now. Let me have it. We're doing today's connections now. So before you go off and do your Weight Watchers, put up your connection now, and I will briefly go through it with you. All right. But hello to everyone. I hope you are all well, and I hope that you all enjoyed last night's talk with the lovely Naomi. So we will delve into these people's connections. I am so I've already read Amanda's connection, and I am blown out because today, hi Carolyn, because today I have brought Orange Calcite to talk about the animal that I get with that, and you've just confirmed that for me, so that is brilliant. So if I could just have Amanda's popping up. So hi Dan, connecting with Orange Calcite on Tuesday, had a vision of a tree that was dripping in honey, like it was growing honey instead of leaves. Had a very warm and comforting feeling. Then it seemed like the crystal was telling me it liked to be held a different way. Brilliant. Okay, so yeah, so Orange Calcite, one of my faves. I won't go a little bit too deep into this because I will be later on, so I don't want to repeat myself. But absolutely, I get that honey. I get that sweet amber nectar. Yes, love it. I think that is brilliant. And yeah, if that's the way it wanted to go, then that is absolutely fine. It's nice to have that connection. So thank you very much, Amanda. But please stay tuned because I will be going in further with Orange Calcite later on. So, hey, Lucy. Yeah, Flowery. Good. I'm glad you've had another flowing, chilled day. And just being with the energy of carnelian, just feeling that strength, that warmth, and just feeling that can just chill us out, make us lay back. We're not tense, we're not overthinking something, we're not stressing, we're not worrying, we're just flowing, going with that. So absolutely perfect. That's a real nice one again. Absolutely, Carolyn. Absolutely. We'll do the Devon Birds of Prey Centre as a group, and then we'll go over to Dartmoor another day for a trip around that. That sounds like my cup of tea. That sounds good. So just waiting for other people to pop up with their connections. So following on from last night's conversation with Naomi, and to kind of not to tie up this week, because I think Saturday's talk will bring more into this spiritual week that seems to have manifested. I didn't intend it to be like that, but merging the three energies of Karen, Naomi, and then what will be Jennifer on Saturday, that seems to be the way it's flowing. Is spirit is there and guides and whatnot. So that is absolutely fine, Carolyn. You stick to your serpentine power, darling. Absolutely. So, hey, Anne, my connection was Sunstone. I was on the beach playing ball with my old Labrador. Only she was a pup. She spotted a dolphin and went playing and swimming with her. It was lovely. A message, I think, telling me she's okay. I haven't seen her for a while. She passed 7. Oh, bless. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Sunstone, and when we look at dolphin, we do think of joy, playful times, laughter, upliftment. So yeah, definitely everything is all good over on the other side. So that is a beautiful one. So Leslie, I saw an orange sphere which morphed into a dawn scene. I asked if I could go inside the crystal as there was a small opening. I was shown the eyes and nose of a rabbit or hare, and I followed it into the burrow, went a long way, and then I saw orange all around me. Then there was a noise, and I lost the concentration. That is absolutely sublime. Brilliant. Absolutely. So you saw the keeper, you saw the spirit of that crystal in the shape of the hare or the rabbit, a lagomorph anyway, and you follow that down. So perfect. Orange, going inside and feeling that orange, feeling that warmth, that strength. Okay, dwell on that, connect to that bit, Leslie, and that is amazing. Fantastic. Well done, sweetheart. And if you do, you've got a couple of more minutes, but if you do have to pop off, love to you. And hello, Danielle. So this week spirit has been the main topic, and so I felt it was right just to share a few bits today that I've done myself, connecting with these crystals and the beautiful beings with that come through and go to them. Now we do have spirits in the crystals, as in the sense like with Leslie there, she saw the keeper of the crystal there. For me, this is about connecting to that animal and connecting to that energy. Hey, Sarah. I didn't connect this morning, but I have carried. I have been so productive work-wise today. Got lots done that I have been researching and have just had in my head so far. Feels so good to have it all planned and mapped out properly. Sorry, it wasn't a spiritual connection, but I've been so focused and productive for the first time in a very long time, feeling very positive too. Absolutely. And we're not just working on a spiritual level. Absolutely not. Mental, physical, emotional, as well as spiritual. So whatever it is, as long as you know that, I think I've got a connection here with the crystal. I think the crystal helped me or aided me or supported me, then that is absolutely fine. So I have no qualms what it's in relation to, but absolutely brilliant. So tomorrow, we're on this page, but we're doing the market. So I won't get to hear about tomorrow's connect, carry, and sleep. We will transfer that to Saturday, talk about that on Saturday before we talk to Jennifer. Sunday is our day off, and so then Monday I'll hear about the final part, which was your Saturday connect, carry, and sleep. Or you can just summarize how you felt throughout the whole week on Monday. And then shall we go up a notch? Shall we go onto the solar plexus and pick a stone that we feel we wish to work with on the solar plexus? Or again, if you've got a stone that you're like, actually, Daniel, I really want to connect with this one, go with that one. Okay, you guys have been doing this for a few weeks now, and you are really in the swing of it. You are really getting that. So we can either do solar plexus if there are people who are still wanting a little bit of a connection, or if there is one that you want to connect with, then go with that. Hello, Rachel. Brilliant, Danielle. I'm glad you agree. Good, Sarah. I'm glad it's helped you. And that's the main thing. As long as you're feeling that, You know, it's just like working with citrine. You might not get any spiritual connection, but you might have been productive. You might have done a lot. You might have written a load, or, you know, you've put a lot of pen to paper. So that's that. So and go ahead and work with Gaia Stone. I think, you know, a bit like peridot and malachite, I wouldn't just hold Gaia Stone to the heart because it's a green stone. I wouldn't be surprised if there were links with the solar plexus with Gaia Stone. So please do work with Gaia Stone. That sounds brilliant. Okay, so where do we start with these goodies? So I've just brought 6 stones, and just to briefly talk about that stone and about that animal that I feel is connected to that. So again, we spoke a lot last night, and I've spoken a bit through doing these live feeds about connecting to animals. We see them coming into our visions, we see them in our dreams, we feel that energy as we're working. But if we see them out in nature, there might be a message there, but it might not be that quick to come through. And, you know, as soon as we've seen the animal, it'll be gone. So I was really drawn to this over the last 18 months. And it's going to go on for about another 4 years, I think, this plan. It started with the birds of prey and connecting with a part of that animal and feeling that energy. I was being shown that the crystal that was connecting to that bird, that species. So after I did that as a workshop, more of them were speaking to me, and I found that, okay, there are more animals that want to be connected with. So if somebody has seen an animal and they think, oh gosh, what was that message? They can go home, hold that crystal, and take a deeper connection and find out what that message was all about. For me, anyway, you lot might think it's a load of old tripe and dispel it, but for me, it makes sense. And the people close to me that I've shared this with, I've got it. So I'm hoping that today will resonate with a little bit of it. So the first stone I want to move on to, which Naomi discussed yesterday, this animal. But I want to move, I'm going to show you some fire agate. And Naomi spoke about Adder. And for me, this is what I get. Now, if we see an adder out in the wild, it's not it's not an animal we're going to pick up. Okay, it's the UK's only venomous snake. But please don't be scared of it. Okay, if it's basking on a stone and you are at a safe distance, just observe the snake. Just observe that energy and be with it. So for me, we're going down to the Earth star. We're going deep down into Gaia and bringing up that energy. Now, Adder is quite earthy. It's close to the ground, so it's got that link to the Earth star, but it carries that element of fire in the venom, in the eyes. And if you look in that eye, there is fire there, and there's fire in fire agate. I'll just show another piece. Okay, so these pieces are from Mexico. So even though I am just working on our species that you'll find in the UK or in Europe, I I can't say the same for the stones. The UK does not hold that abundance of stones like other countries. So I am bringing in stones from other countries. So yeah, so Adder, fire agate, we get protection. We get strength. You know, we really draw up from Mother Earth. We really bring in her strength, her courage, her self-confidence, helping us to carry on. With Adder, we have that circle. We have that completion. So if we don't feel complete, if we're feeling, you know, if we've got jobs that aren't completed, if there is things that we just need to tie off, we just need to finish, but we just scared, worried, got no confidence in seeing something through, draw on Adder, draw on fire agate, and see it through. The snake is the circle. Adder is a sign of fertility, fruitfulness, abundance, and protection. And so with Mother Earth, with the Earth star, we're feeling connected to Gaia, and we wish to be fertile. And I'm not, and again, I'm not talking about fertility as in reproduction, but fertility as in succeeding, seeing things to completion. You know, it's like planting your seeds and then not watering them. When it comes to harvest, everybody else is reaping their rewards and you've got nothing because you didn't water them. So carry on that fertility, carry on looking after your goals, your dreams, your desires, and see that through. So I really get a real nice link between this pair. So yeah, so if you are fortunate, and funny enough, this week somebody had put on Facebook that an adder had got into someone's house, and they took a picture of it, because obviously with lockdown, with the quietness, with the nice weather, these snakes are coming out, and how quiet it is, they are getting a little bit more daring. But really, adders work on vibration. So 9 times out of 10, they will sense us before we'll even see them. And once they sense that vibration of our footsteps, they're gone. It perhaps only be early mornings when they're still soaking up the sun's ray, getting into that movement, getting ready to move, that will come across them. And they'll still be that slow, sluggish to actually get away. But give them the space, they're not going to strike out. They're not going to attack us for no reason. I would never, ever, ever pick one of these up. Give it the respect. And yeah, if it's on a path and you've got some distance, feel free just to stand there and just be in awe of being in the presence of an adder, being in her energy, and draw in that energy and see how it feels. See why you got that message. It might be that you need some strength. You need to see something through. You need to inject some ideas into your life. You might be going through a stagnant energy. Again, we've got that cycle, keeping the flow. The adder flows. We've got the flowing energy. So if adder comes to us, and I know this week particularly, there's been quite a few of you who have picked up on snake energy. But if it was adder in particular, then it might be a transformation. So it might be that you are taking that next step into the spiritual work, taking that next step into crystals. You know, you might have brought crystals and had them around the place for years. Now you might just be starting to connect. So that's a transformation. So adder might be coming into you to guide you through that transformation. The adder sheds. Each layer is something new. So yeah, if we're working with Ada, we see Ada coming through. It might be a guide helping us to encourage us, give us the strength to accept this new idea and not just to wash it away. Don't have the self-doubt. Keep on going with it. Keep working on it. I love Ada, and I'm so glad that she came to me and wished to be in the connections and allowing me to draw on the energy, work with that energy. And as soon as I felt that energy, then I knew, okay, that's the stone for you. And then working with both of them together, it married perfectly, and I love it. So yeah, if you've got Ada as a spirit animal, or if it's coming through as a guide, count yourself a blessing. Okay, I always say with Serpentine, we've got that deep snake energy. So even with Ada, we've got that emotional energy work, that deep healing. So don't be afraid if you are healing either an emotional, mental, physical level or a spiritual level, that the snake will come to you. Don't fear. The snake is coming to take that fear. It's coming to take away that blockage, then allowing you to flow. So don't react and add fear to what it is you're already struggling with. Just allow the snake to come in, okay, and draw that on. But it's a beautiful. Yes, Kat, replays. These videos are always up, so you're more than welcome to just go through Dan Rocks and look at the videos, or feel free to do YouTube and subscribe to Dan Rocks Rockbox. We have a YouTube channel where all the videos are there, and you can watch them as and when you're available to. Okay. Absolutely, Danielle. And you were doing the tiger's eye, and you were getting that snake next to you. So it was just there to be like, I'm just guiding you. I'm that bit of rope, that bit of string that you just hold on to and think, well, let's just keep going and see what's at the end of this. Hopefully it's something good. That's all the snake is. The snake is just a guide. The lion was the connection. But obviously, you're new. We're all new. We're all new to this. Every day is a learning day. This is why I love doing what I do. So for you, yeah, snake comes in and just allows that to come and help you out, spiritually awake, spiritually ascend. So fantastic. I'm glad you can relate to that. Any questions at all while we're going through this, please feel free to jump along and ask me. So I think that was all that came through for Ada. So the next one, which is one of my faves, absolutely love this animal. And yeah, I like the stone. I like the stone too. So black tourmaline. And look at him. Look at him. Who doesn't love a badger? Okay. So even though technically speaking, black tourmaline really should be in the Earth star category rather than the base, because of its abundance, its affordability, and his recognition for grounding stone. We do keep black tourmaline in the base, because we only call upon the Earth star when we leave the 3D and start working on the 4D chakras. We connect with the Earth star. We don't connect with the Earth star if we're just working with the 7 main chakras. So black tourmaline plays a part in the base there, because everyone knows it. It's out there. It's readily available. So let's use it. So that's where it comes into the base, and it's that bridge. Okay, you find that there are crystals that will bridge. So when we leave the base, this could bridge us to the Earth star, or vice versa. When we're going from the Earth star to the base, we can bridge with black tourmaline. So this is why we've chose Badger, and why Badger came to us, because again, protection. Okay, he's got a bit of power behind him. He's got a bit of stubbornness. You don't move a Badger. Okay, he's powerful. He's standing his ground, and yes, I'm going to take anyone on. Okay, obviously not the English Badger, but in South Africa we've got the honey badger, who is quite a ferocious badger. It will even take on lions. It don't back down from anyone. So badgers have that power and that assertiveness of, I'm standing my ground and I'm not going nowhere. So with tourmaline, we've got that grounding crystal. We've got that energy to ground us and anchor us into earth. It takes us just under the earth's surface. So we anchor in. And the badger, he makes his home. And that home's called a set. And for us, that's called being settled. So if we're somebody who isn't settled, we don't find it easy to lay down our roots, so to speak, or to find that we can settle into new groups, new work, those sort of environments. It takes us a while to adjust and to let ourselves into the group. Bring in black tourmaline, invoke the power of badger, and allow us to settle. Bring in the set and settle into your home, into that circle that you know, God, I just wish that I could just gel and just blend in and just get along, but I'll go all shy and bashful and bring in that power. Okay, badgers are very organized, and they love their home. Generations and generations of badgers can live in one set, and that set would be from their ancestors. They don't move very often, unless sadly us as humans come along and build along their habitat. They stay there for ages. So it really gives us that sense of security, that sense of stability. So if badger comes to us, we might not be stable. There might be some issues that's unsettling us, that we are not feeling secure about. So bring in badger, or if badger's coming to us, look on, what are we not settled on? Is there a decision that needs settling? Is there something at work that someone's unsettled you and you need to just get it out in the open? But with their organization, they're very clean animals. They'll clean their sets out day in, day out. So again, if you could do with being a little bit more organized, if you could do with being a little bit more proactive and do stuff, bring in black tourmaline. Black tourmaline doesn't just hold you and ground you, it just slows things down, so you can start taking things in bit by bit, and then start taking things in and feeling your energy. So it's not going to stop you from doing things. It's just going to make sure that you're doing the things that need to be done, that are prioritizing. Do what is urgent, leave the little things alone. And badger really helps with that if you're very quite scatty, and you need some organization. That they're organized. They've got a regiment, they've got a ranking, they know what they're doing. They're really quite, and I just look at him and I'm just like, oh bless, I just want to give him a little so yeah, low ground again. So but they're not got long legs, they're quite stouty and they're quite low, so they're grounded, they're solid. You don't really, it takes a lot to move a badger. So they might come to us if we need to stand our ground. If we feel, we might feel unsettled because someone is pushing us over, someone is forcing their opinion on us and forcing a change on us that we don't want to accept, we don't want to acknowledge, Boris Johnson. So it allows us to stand our ground, put our feet on the ground and go, no, I'm not budging. I'm not going to change my opinion. What I say counts, and I'm not going to make those changes. I'm happy the way things are. So again, do you know what? Sarah? When I was saying organised, for some reason you popped into my head. So yeah, I do think you are Badger. If you want a human rather than a crystal that resonates with Badger, I would befriend Sarah and be friends with her. She will get you organized. She will get you going. And she's got that teacher in her as well. So, woo. So yeah, so that is Badger and mixing and with black tourmaline. I mean, they're quite nocturnal. We don't get to see them that much. We might just see their hair caught on fencing. We might see their tracks. We might see evidence of them around a set. So I would, we can draw off that energy. But again, at home, black tourmaline is readily available. So it's just one of those crystals that we can sit on. And for me, it does exactly what Badger says on the tin. They merge so well together and they work really well side by side. So again, we're not lucky enough to see Badger, but we've had a glimpse, or it might have come to us in a dream. Reach out your black tourmaline and feel that. Oh, you see. Yeah. But you've got power, gal. You've got power. And I'm sure you're not that short or stout, And I would rather be a Badger being short and stout than a little teapot. Here's my handle. Here's my spout. So now we come to the one that Amanda had a lovely connection to. This Tuesday you had the connection. So you had this connection on Tuesday. I've already been working with this energy for about 8 months. I think I've been working with orange calcite. And I'm so glad that you mentioned honey. Because one thing I don't want to draw upon when I'm looking at crystals and feeling the energy of the animals is to look for things that resembles them in a color or in a word. I mean, I could have so easily have gone for amber for bumblebee, because amber is like honey. It's the sap of the tree. I could have gone for bumblebee jasper, but it's just too cliche. And it's just like, no, I'm not going for it just because it looks like a bumblebee or because it's got bumblebee in the name or it reminds you of bumblebee. I want to draw on the energy. And for me, orange calcite is, for me, bumblebee energy. It's not that sunny as in citrine, whereas citrine is quite like high summer solstice sun. This is this spring sunshine. So this is where the sun is just coming out, thawing out our bones from the winter, and we're going, "Ooh, I'm feeling a bit of warmth. Isn't that nice?" And then we see the first bumblebees coming out and just buzzing around. And when I see bumblebees, they just make me smile. When they're just going around the first of the flowers that are opening and doing their own thing, and then carrying it through the whole season into summer. So it's a joy, it's an upliftment. Okay. Bumblebees very much remind me of children. If you see on a lavender bush, if you see the bumblebees just going around in some disorganized chaos, it's very similar to when you've got kids and you put them all into a playground. It's just there's some sort of organization, but it looks like chaos and they're just bumbling around. So I get that inner child link and I get that through. So when we see Bumblebee, we might need to think on that joy. We might need to think on the happiness. And are we bringing that joy into our life? Is there something we need to see the fun in? Have we done something too far now and it's got a bit boring? It's got a bit stale. We need to reinvent it. Or might just remind ourselves on the joys of life. We might have just found out that, you might have just lost £20 out of your purse, or you might have lost something. But to see a bumblebee just reminds you of the simple things in life should give you abundance and should complete you. Okay, quite a communal insect. They love their community. So again, bumblebee might be somebody here who likes to be in a community, loves to be in the center, either as the queen, the matriarch, keeping. And community can be your family if you've got a big family. Again, I'm linking with Sarah here. I am feeling. I know Maggie would be a wicked bumblebee. I can really see her being in the center and just going bzz, bzz, and sending out the workers of what they're doing. But I think you've got a bit of that in you as well, Sarah. I think in your little hive, I've got you as like, right, giving out, the orders, not controlling. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, but you like to know what's going on. You like to know, right? Okay, that person's there. That person's doing that. That person's doing that. Right, I can sit down and relax now. So, yeah, that community driven. You're not good on your own. A queen would not survive without her drones, without her workers. And some people, they can't survive on their own. And especially at this moment in time where we've lost half of our hive. We've not got our full workforce. We've not got our full team with us. We're just going on one or two. So that could really bring us down. So orange calcite, bumblebee, just remind us that actually I can still go out and connect with nature. I can still go out and connect. I can still get a workforce. I can still see something that's uplifting. Does that make sense? I get a real strong connection when I connect with orange calcite. So I normally go off at a tangent, and I've just had that little breathing spot where I'm like, what have I just said? So yeah, community, thriving insect, and this likes its community. It likes to be around. It likes to be noticed. It plays a key part. Good. Yes. So that is it, Anne. And this is it. Just sitting there and watching them, and especially the bumblebees. I mean, wasps. I mean, they're just evil. But the bumblebees, they're pretty much harmless. Just let them do what they need to do, and they should be fine. I mean, the funny thing with bumblebees, they shouldn't actually technically fly. They are not engineered at all for those wings to carry them. It's not, the equations are all out. They shouldn't be flying. And that is it. They are just those big things, those lovely little wings. So that in itself is quite cartoony, quite characterized, blown out of proportions. So that's quite, laughable. You can laugh at that. And if we can laugh at something, as long as it's not at someone else's displeasure. If we can laugh, we're uplifting. And for me, orange calcite is uplifting. I can't look at orange calcite without laughing. You know, it's those orange segments. Yes, yeah, Amanda, absolutely. So for me, I'm not. When you said that you saw those trees and it looked like they were growing honey, not leaves, and you did that Tuesday, and it's like, oh gosh, you know, today's Thursday, and you're saying that, and here we are bringing these two together. So you're coming in with your trees and your honey, and I'm coming in with the orange calcite and the trees. Okay, and also with bees, always see the fruition in your jobs, in what you've completed. Yeah, always be satisfied. You know, they go out, they gather the pollen, and they make honey. And just stand back and just be proud of what you've done. Be proud of what you've achieved. Okay, they should be so proud of what they do. They do an amazing, amazing job. They are so magnificent, and we do need to support every single one of them. They are absolutely amazing. I love bees. When we have our own place, I want a hive. I think they're amazing. So that's the orange calcite with the bumblebee. Now, I've not lost my trail. I've not lost my path. The path is clearly marked. Now, I think it's smoky quartz. Yeah. So, yes. So now we've got smoky quartz. And with smoky quartz, we have rabbits, which I absolutely love and adore. And it was a pleasure. I've been working with rabbit for about 12 months. I've been working with the energy of rabbit and working with smoky quartz alongside it. And these are that smoky quartz is that release of negativity, that air element of the grounding world. And rabbits, they're on the ground, they're quite earthed, but they've got that speed. So I'm linking that air element with their speed. But again, they have that fun. They like to be joyful. They go around, do their little hops, flip their tails, flick their hind legs, and love chasing each other around on a different level of community as to the bee. Because for some people, and for some people here, rabbit might come to you when you're shy. You're out of your comfort zone, even though they are absolutely, Lauren, I am with you on that. One of my faves. I love a rabbit. Might be the fox in me that likes a rabbit, but I love a rabbit. But in their community, because they're in that community, they don't strive for the spotlight. So for you, you might be in your group, but you're not the one in the spotlight. You don't want that. That is not you. Let that spotlight shine on somebody else, please. That is not for me. So, and same as, you know, we've got that expression of like rabbits in headlights. You know, when those headlights beam on a rabbit, they're like, oh, what do I do? Oh, I don't know what's happening. They freeze. So smoky quartz really works alongside that to release that negativity, to work alongside that. So if you are shy and rabbit is coming to you, just have a think of, okay, what is it that I'm shy about? How can I bring this bit of confidence about me? And smoky quartz could release that. Same as if we do see rabbits, out of all the animals, I think this is one of the ones we will perhaps see most of after bumblebee. Even if we see them in the field, okay, just send off. Normally we're going for a walk to clear our heads, to clear our mind. We might have some stress, some tension, and we might just need to release that. Feel the freedom of sending it to the rabbit. Let the rabbit send it down to the warren and dispel that negativity, allowing the earth to transmute that into a white ball of positive. So when we're out and about, if there's something we need to get off our chest, get off our mind, use rabbit and allows rabbit speed to just zip along down the rabbit hole and let your worries go, let that stress go. We sometimes really link in the nervousness of a rabbit, but they are incredible of shaking off that nervousness. Yeah, they could seem quite they're perhaps not known for their intelligence, but when it comes to it, they can outwit a fox. They can run, and in fact they do run quite classic in zigzags, and that's because if they run in zigzags, they know what they're doing because they're doing the zigzags, but the fox doesn't. So the fox has to slow down to change the direction because he doesn't know what the rabbit is doing. So he can't maintain his speed, whereas the rabbit can. So the rabbit can outfox the fox. So yeah, even though we do look at them and think that they're nervous, they've got their wits about them. So I love this pairing. I love bringing smoky quartz in with rabbit. So if anyone out there is feeling that nervous tension, feeling that shy, feeling that confidence, shying away from the spotlight, and rabbits come to them, think on that. Don't think, oh look, there's a rabbit, let's just give it a stroke. There'll be a purpose of that. And same as with pet rabbits. There isn't that much dilution from a domestic rabbit to a pet rabbit, unlike like dogs. With dogs, there is a huge different sizes, different colors, but with rabbits, it's only the colors that are there. So yeah, even if we've got pet rabbits, we can look at that. Sweetheart, can you get rid of that comment under Lauren? So then moving on from smoky quartz and the lovely rabbit, we have the rhodonite. And I know for some of you who have been with me right from the start, you might be like, oh, I know what animal this is because he keeps going on about it. But for those who aren't here, I wanted to bring something different. I literally was going through my crystal connections and the animals, but none of those animals really wanted to come out. And I was umming and ahhing and looking at the list. And for me, though, this one spoke to me. I know because I work so closely with the spirit of Kestrel. And for me, we've got rhodonite, which go on completely side by side. Rhodonite is that support. If we're lost, if we're alone, if we've suffered a loss, rhodonite is incredible in supporting us through that. Not only for the base, but grounding the heart and allowing your heart to just ground and just not feel, just be in that moment and feel what's in that moment. Don't try and do too much via your heart. Allow it just to ground and settle. So I love that with kestrel, because for me, kestrel is the only bird of prey that hovers. Some of them do, but they rely on the wind thermals to give them that hover. But a kestrel can hover by using the muscles and its tail. A kestrel can even hover indoors. It doesn't need help from the thermals to keep it hovering. And for me, that signifies to me a guardian angel. This signifies to me that someone is looking over us, even though in the humanized world, because kestrels see in ultraviolet, and what they're doing is voles, which is one of their main food supplies, when they urinate, that gives off an ultraviolet ray. So when the kestrels are hovering, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the ultraviolet light. And we know generally that rodents tend to be quite incompetent. Incontinent. They tend to wee quite often. So with a kestrel looking at the ultraviolet, the brighter the ultraviolet, the fresher the urine. And they tend to wee about every 3 or 4 minutes. So by going by the trail, it will see. So that's where it needs to hover, so it can concentrate, see the trail, and then it knows where to strike, where to make its kill. But for me, on a spiritual sense, that hovering is looking over, observing. Whenever I see a kestrel that is hovering, for me, someone is close to me who is over the other side, over the other side in spirit. So they're just telling me that they are here and they're watching over me. So it's a nice one to draw on if we're at times on our own. Because even if we're alone in the physical sense, especially this time, going through these circumstances where some of us might find ourselves on our own, we might see a kestrel and remind us that actually, physically, yes, but spiritually, there are so many people watching over you, so many people showing you support, holding you, guiding you through your life. So if ever you have doubt, draw upon kestrel, draw on rhodonite to support us, keep us going. Don't give up just because you're feeling lonely and feeling low. You're not. You're never alone. So I absolutely love this pairing. And again, it's a bird that we'll see on the motorways very often. So again, we might just be like, oh, there's a kestrel. But obviously we can't go up and go, oh, look, there's a kestrel. What message have you got? Because if you're the driver and you're on a motorway, that's not the most sensible thing to do. So if you do see one, just think, and just think and feel and have a sense who's around you. Someone is going to be around you. Someone is watching over you. They're looking out for you. So yeah, or just come home, grab a piece of rhodonite and just sit with that and work with that. I've loved that connection. As soon as I knew, because kestrel is in my birds of prey workshops, the lovely blue, the male kestrel at Devon Birds of Prey, as soon as I got that energy and was shown the guardian angel meaning, I knew exactly what I was going to go to. Rhodonite is good for loss, good for grieving. I think I've told you it before, but when I used to breed guinea pigs, I always used to keep rhodonite close by because I always used to run 2 sows together in pregnancy, and their maternity ward would be in the living room with me. As soon as they'd been run with a boar, they would be in the living room living a life of Riley with me. if the cell, and I always used to run 2 cells, because if the cell suffered a loss of the litter, she will help the other cell rear hers. And if I had a litter that lost the mum, then the other cell would play mum to that one as well. But I would always put rhodonite in. And it's really quite funny, even though there'd be another cell there, if I'd lost a cell and I'd put rhodonite in there, the litter would go around the rhodonite. They would sense that energy of support, that mother vibe, and they'd go to it and snuggle into it. They just knew that. And same vice versa, the cell would go up to the rhodonite and would settle with it. So there's a lot to be said with the energy of rhodonite. It's such a mother, grandmother energy. You just feel safe, you feel secure, you feel stable, you're ready to conquer the world. And so then lastly, you might have seen behind me, I've got my amazing collection of foxes, and I've also got an amazing collection of coffee bean opal. And so this one is for me, so I thought I'd save it the best till last. So fox, look at that beaut. Beautiful, beautiful. With coffee bean opal. Now, this is quite a strange one for me because coffee bean is relatively new on the scene. And so I was quite shocked when I got fox. But working with them together, and again, for those people who have been through these before, you would have no doubt heard this before. But opal, we know, is about change. We have that water element with coffee bean opal. With all the opals, we have that water element that brings in flow, brings in change. And a fox is about adaptability and is about making that change. So with these two, it's allowing us to work on our own spiritual path, working on our own path in life. It doesn't have to be spiritual. Just make sure we're following that and allowing us to bring in the change and the direction should we need to. Foxes, they're one of the most abundant mammals out there. Okay, up in the north, we've got the Arctic fox. Here, we've got the country foxes. But even though we're trying to take their habitat, they're adapting, they're changing. They're like, oh, okay, I've got no woods to run around and hunt in. That's okay. There's a high street here for me to scavenge in. They'll just change and adapt to that. And then in the deserts, we've got the battered fox, the phoenix fox. So they're abundant in all terrains. There is a fox for that terrain. So we really draw on this, that we need that change. We need to do something and do that. With coffee bean, this is more earth star again. So we're bringing this into, so we're digging at heels into the ground, a bit like badger, but we're going to face that change. We're not going to run away from it. We're not going to be like, oh no, I don't want to do that change. I'm comfortable on this path. Oh yes, that's because it's not your path. Someone else is doing the work for you. You're on their path. So you need to work on yours. So it's about putting our heels in and accepting that change. Let it to come in. Let the flow to come in. But we're not going to run. We're going to embrace it and do it and realize that it's what we need to do. We're going to do it for the best. I've said so many times when I've brought Opal onto the live feeds, if you feel a change is coming, trust in it. Go with it. Because it's the Opal coming in and just allowing you. And I'm saying change because it just might be something needs to change. Doesn't mean you've got to turn around and walk away from something. It doesn't mean something's got to come to an end. That's not all true for change. It might just be we need to look at something another way. We might need to bring something into a situation. But however slight that change is, we need to do it. Okay. And I know Fox has that sly, has that cunning, trickster kind of attitude. So, but they're smart. They are cunning, but I don't like sly. I don't like. There is a bit of a trickster. They know how to work their prey. They know how to play dead and allow the prey get to them and then jump on them. But there's so much more than that. They're just beautiful creatures. They live in earths. Their home is called an earth, whereas the badgers is called a set. So again, they're going into Gaia. They're going into Mother Earth, going in there. So the two resemblances there with Opal allowing us to put our heels into the ground and the fox going into the earth and bring around that change. I'm sure there's a lot of things that the fox has had to change that it didn't need to. The loss of habitat in this country, but it's done it. It's took it on and it's just integrated with us. We've got foxes around our area. They're quite noisy at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sound like a child is being murdered. But they're there, and I hate the word vermin. Hate it. They're certainly not. Absolutely not. But yeah, so if you've got fox coming to you, or you've seen a fox, it might just be checking your situation. Are your feet firmly in the ground on your path in life, or are your feet firmly in someone else's path? It's keeping an eye on you. It's just making sure. Are you on your path? Are you? Okay, so just yes. Oh, have you got your coffee bean near you? Bless you, Sarah. And they are definitely beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah, they're just caring. They can't help it. So yeah. So always think of that, or draw on fox. Draw him in as a totem animal if you need to bring in that change. If you need that situation, if there's a situation at work, situation in a friend's circle, and you want that change, foxes, it adapts. It brings in that change, because then we've got the adaptability where sometimes we might find ourselves in a situation that is completely out of our comfort zone, completely not us, and it's like, oh gosh, I've just ended up here and I don't know. Bring in fox. Allow yourself to adapt before you change. Just okay, I can camouflage, I can blend in. Yeah. Tricks of the trade, many hats. And just okay, let's just put this hat on and this is the way I'm going to be. Okay, let's just do that. He is beautiful, and I am so privileged. We tend to have the main animal. We tend to have one that's our main spirit animal, but we do bring in several others. We work with quite a few. Danielle, oh, You see, I knew there was a reason why we had the same name, because you used to help rescue and rehabilitate foxes. That sounds amazing. That sounds so good. So yeah, but we tend to have several, because obviously with that one animal that can only have so much energy, so much power. If we need a power from, if we need another power or another energy that hasn't got, then we bring in another animal. A bit like crystals. You're not going to be using this instead of black tourmaline. You're going to use black tourmaline for whatever the purpose that would be. So yeah, we have several of them, and we will be having a shamanic evening on the 30th of May. We've got the lovely Helen Chapman, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, sweetheart. She'll be coming on board, and she will be talking about shamanism. We'll be talking about spirit animals, power animals, totem animals. What's the difference between the three? And she will be giving you guides of how to get into meditation or journeying to meet your own spirit animal. She'll be telling you the beats that you need to be hearing as you're journeying. She'll explain that a little bit more better than what I've just done. But any questions at all about this evening? I hope that's good, because that is fresh, raw, new. I don't really share this publicly because, like I said, it's part of a bigger deal that's going to be about another at least 3 years down the line. Can I ask which crystal you would put with a robin? Every time we go for a walk, we see a robin, sometimes two. It comes right up to us as if it wants to. I do. I have actually, I've connected with this stone. We've got some coming through actually in the next day or so. Angelite is the stone I get with robin. So it's part of the divine gateway. And for me, we always see robins, and there is a sign. There is somebody there. There is somebody. You're thinking about someone in the spirit world in your subconscious. You might not know you're thinking of them, or it might be someone you're just thinking of. It might be an anniversary or their birthday or something. And you'll see the robin, and it's a symbol from that person who you're thinking of, or whose anniversary or something you've celebrated that's reminded you of that person, just coming on just to say, I know, and thank you for thinking of me. So Angelite is the stone I get with robin. Absolutely. So thank you. It's, I love this because before crystals, animals were my huge passion. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a zookeeper. I used to watch all the documentaries, Spring Watch, everything. I loved it. And I was really privileged when Karen at Devon Birds of Prey allowed me to go and work with those birds, and the crystals was just one of my, things I've ticked off that I can quite happily die now knowing I've done that. But from that, it's opened up this whole big other cluster that it's like, oh gosh, I'm actually in heaven. I'm incorporating my two main passions in life, animals and crystals, and they're merging, they're marrying, and we get to use them in the same way, whether we've got the crystal or whether we've got the animal. They're the same. They're coming in as one, and I'm loving it. The future is going to be quite bright, fun, and active for us. But yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, Lucy. Brilliant. Yeah. So since lockdown, it's like we're being looked after. I absolutely get that. You do with the Robins. They do come in and they do settle. So tomorrow night, join us back on the business page. We're not doing the Bazaar page. We're back on this page for the market. The preview catalogue, the Argos catalogue, is up there for you to look at. But it's the live feed that you'll need to comment on. Okay. And again, because we're going to be on the business page, I'm going to see all your lovely names. So just place sold. All right. And again, I'll go through the numbers and we'll go through that. And with the help of Adam and me, we'll be able to let you know if that piece was yours or not, because I'm not going to have Facebook user here. I'm going to know what it is. Okay. So yeah. And should any of the other animals, because our spirit animals are quite private, they don't want to be out there. If you can remember Moon, when she did her drum, her kestrel was so small, and that is it. They don't want to be out there. They don't want to be active. I mean, I was really honored to have this guy. I mean, this is Patrick Gamble. You should recognize a Patrick Gamble by now. And when he did this, I've only ever saw him do humans. He's only done human spirit guides. So when I got that, which was just over a year ago, we had it at Western, and I sat down and I did ask him. I said, "Do you see just humans, or do you see animals?" And he said, "Oh, there is one around you. Do you want me to?" And I was like, "Please, Pat. We are good friends, so I can be a little bit cheeky." And when he turned it round, wow. I mean, my husband was looking at this after the stall, and he looked as he turned it round, and he was like, "He's done your fox." I was like, "Yeah." How does he know? And he didn't know that fox was my spirit animal. So he sits on my altar, and I honor him every time we do the altar. He is great. He is brilliant. But yeah, so when we know our spirit animal, just acknowledge it in slight, significant ways. Don't have it tattooed on your forehead. Don't go out there, because they work in quiet, magical ways. They don't want it to be shouted from the rooftops. So, but yeah, so that is that. And then obviously Saturday night and tomorrow night, please don't feel like if you're not buying, you can't join us. You are more than welcome to join us, because I'm going to be talking through the descriptions of those crystals. So if anything, it's going to be an educational night, as well as the market. So join us. Feel free to be part of us either way. And then Saturday, we're going to finish the week with the marvelous Jennifer Jones. Okay. So she'll be here live at 5. And I'll just get to dip in beforehand to hear about your connections from tomorrow. And then Monday, I'll hear the summarized of how you felt with the crystal of this week. All right, guys, I'm going to go because he's going to cut me off, House, because this is about a 15-minute goodbye. But love you all. Love you lots. Thank you for joining us, and hope that was helpful in ways. If you want to know more or got any other questions, feel free to PM me. Bye. Wave Dan. See you later. Bye.